And we're back! So, in the last episode, we kind of figured out what the hell happened in my village, and how to fix it with the Atlamillia. If that's how you pronounce it, who knows. Provost makes fun of me all the time because I mispronounce everything. It's really not very nice. And he's also being a brat because I'm recording without him, and he's super jealous. Actually, I'll be honest, I still feel weird recording alone anymore because I just have so much fun doing it with him. Why? But, you know, I can't let my channel stop. I mean, he can because he's not partnered, but I really need to get back into a consistent way. Anyway, I forgot to read that first bubble, but first conquer this wretched divine's beast cave and find Dran's lair. That is your first goal. Since you're a beginner, I'll give you a lesson on how to fight in the dungeon. First, to advance to the next floor, you need to acquire a gate key for the door leading to the next floor. Each dungeon has a different gate key. For the Divine Beast Cave, Duran's Crest will be the gate key. The gate key is almost always carried by a monster in the dungeon. You must defeat the monsters to acquire the gate key. Since you can't tell which one has the key, you must defeat them all one by one. Next, I'll tell you how to return to ground level rather than advancing to the floor below. To return to ground level, mind connect with me. In other words, speak with your mind. When you do this, I'll transport your body to ground level. Just select Leave Dungeon from the main menu. But be aware, if there are monsters left on the floor, the mind connect won't work. It will be blocked by their evil energies. In such cases, use the item Escape Powder to get out on your own. The No Room Village Chief has lots of it, so be sure to get it before you go. Yeah, I like how he didn't tell us that before, but okay. You can also mind connect with me when you go through the gate to the next floor of a dungeon. When you re-enter the dungeon, you can start at the next new level, so you don't have to worry about losing progress. Next, it's on to weapons. Be aware that weapons are breakable. The more you use a weapon, the more it wears, and finally it breaks. Broken weapons will disappear. To prevent from breaking, use the item Repair Powder. It will restore their WHP. The longer you use a weapon by repairing, the more magic it absorbs from monsters and thus becomes stronger. With that said, it's said that weapons reaches its full strength and it can change into a more powerful form. Keep that in mind. Oh, I cast a special spell and the dagger you have will disappear. But all the new weapons you will get during the quest will disappear once they break, so be careful. Don't waste your hard work by letting a weapon break and disappear. Finally, the more important stuff. The sphere Atla the spear Atla where I protected and sealed the fragments of the world. If you see an Atla, don't hesitate to touch it. You can absorb the contents of the Atla into the Atlamillia by touching it. When you return to the surface, you will be able to begin reassembling these fragments of the world. Oops, today's lesson ran a little long. That's all for today's lecture. Now, Kovo, show me the true ability on this quest. Man, that guy talks forever! So he's just kind of sitting there like, what? Am I stoned out of my mind? Possibly, my friend, possibly. So, you have different paths. There's a skeleton in a cave vat. There's the door to the next floor. It's marked with a little yellow dot on the map. The cave's bats are probably my biggest enemy, or my worst enemy when I only have this dude, Kovos, because they poison you if they hit you. Well, most times. I mean, it's, you know, random, but I apparently have the worst luck ever. Ow. Oh, hey, I didn't get poisoned. Fantastic. And another skeleton. As of right now, I believe there are only bat skeletons and dashers, which are these, like, really hideous fat monsters. Now I have the hiccups. Oh, and there's lots of water spots. The water spots are very important, and I will show you why in a minute. You see how I have health and thirst? Yeah, well, the water little spots on those maps, water drops on the map, they regenerate health and water, which is really nice. And I keep mashing the X button because I am convinced that I can speed up by hitting it but I don't have the item required to do that. You get an item called a Dran's Feather, which if you put in these boxes, which are called your active item boxes, you can run faster. However, because I don't have one, I'm stuck at my normal speed, and sorry, I just had to move my microphone. It's really not that bad. Hey look, some gold. But, I don't know. I've been abusing that like crazy lately. And we got more escape powder, which is nice. I don't really use it that much because, I don't know, I've never really had an instance where I needed to. Plus, I don't really like to get, you know, that far into a level and then backtrack, basically. Because even if you do get Dran's Crest on this floor, but then you use the escape powder, you have to re-unlock that door. Which is why I usually just make a run. Ooh, you see, I just healed everything. I usually just make a run for the door if I need to get out of there and I have the key. Otherwise, yeah, maybe I'll use Dran's Crest. And here it is, dropped by a dasher. So, at this point I could stop attacking enemies, but it helps level up my weapon, so I'm not gonna sit here and complain about it, you know? Yeah, no? Anyway, there's a cave bat. There it is. Nice try. I'm trying to see that glitch happens on occasion. It happens in the game, not just on the emulator. Before you guys start on your whole emulators or bad speech, you know, speaking of emulators, I'm on this forum called Let's Play Sanctuary, which, by the way, if you're a Let's Player and you don't know me through there, you should totally join that place because it's like amazing. They've given me so many tips already, and it's been really helpful, especially since I'm not really used to recording without co-hosts. Anyway, there's some people who are like really opposed to emulators, and I mean, I understand why. They do have their problems. All of my Let's Plays so far, except for now Pokemon Pearl, have had to be cancelled because of emulator issues. However, I just believe that it's easier for me. When I'm in college, I go from the college or the dorm room to my room or to my house on weekends, and sometimes I don't really want to have to drag a PlayStation 2, a controller, my capture card. Ooh, I can level up my weapon, cool. But I don't have any. If you look here, I'll return to that anyway. You see how I have 2 slots here? This place should be full of attachments, however I do not have attachments. Attachments, depending on what they are, add to your stats. I mean, there's like attack 1 through 3, endurance 1 through 3, speed 1 through 3, magic power 1 through 3. You got your elements. Right now I have a wind element on here because that's what it defaults to, and I have some anti-beast. All of these slots have their own little upgrade thing that you can attach from here onto these blocks. However, I don't have any. There's also, when you get through story parts, like in the, dungeon, if you defeat mini-boss or whatever, you get special gems, which you can put in those slots that it increases a lot of stuff at the same time, which makes them really rare and really awesome. And I'm going to repair my sword as soon as I pick up all these pieces because I don't really want to lose all that progress. And you know what? I am going to upgrade my weapon right now, just because I'm probably not going to get any things to add to it. Plus, I mean, it still bumps up a little bit on its own. The attachments are just to add to it, you know? But anyway, as I was saying, there's a lot of people who are opposed to emulators. I am not, just because when I'm moving from my dorm room to my house on weekends when I come visit my parents, I don't like having to carry all that stuff. Plus, if I forget even one thing, then I am completely done for a while. But everything on here, it's all together, you know? I have my recording software, I have my game, I have the thing that runs it. Plus, it's a lot easier to record the screen when it's, you know, playing from the computer, because my capture card, it was really loose, so sometimes in the middle of the game, I forgot to heal. Holy crap, I almost broke it, and I would have been so upset. If it breaks, my dagger goes back to, like, this first stage that it started at, but until I repair it, it only does 1 hit of damage no matter what. Anyway, so yeah, emulators have their faults, but I'm such a forgetful person, it's easier for me to carry everything around with me, and, you know, deal with that on a turn-by-turn basis instead of, have to carry all that around and be really inconvenienced. Plus, I need to get a new capture card. That other one is terrible. I mean, the capture card itself isn't that bad, but every time I'd use it in the middle of the game, if I bumped it even slightly, it would be like, oh, your capture card is unplugged, so now I can't do anything, and it would get really tiresome in the middle of a Let's Play because I'd be skipping around all over the place, you know? So, you know, if you guys have any good capture card recommendations, please don't be afraid to post it in the comments. I would love some pointers. I mean, right now I don't have any money, so I can't buy anything. I have an HD PVR, but I haven't really, you know, fully worked out how I'm going to use it. But until that point, I'd love a standard definition capture card recommendation. Any of them you got. I was using the diamond capture card, which, you know, it has some pluses and it has some minuses. It seems like you finally come back with some Atla. Very well then, I shall teach you as I promised. The pieces sealed inside that Atla are released by touching the Atla with your left hand, where the power of the Atlamillia resides. It's Ramilla! Oh wait, no, it's an I. That last one was a typo. Buildings and people that were sucked into the Atlamillia will be restored to their original form. Once you bring them back to the ground, back to the ground level, you can arrange them as you wish. By going back and forth between dungeon and ground level, you can restore the earth to its original form. That's your mission as the one who was granted the power of the Atlamillia. Now, let us move on. This may get a bit technical. If you want to place buildings, etc., press the select button. While walking, go into edit mode. Press the select button again to return to walking mode. In the edit mode, you can reassemble building. Alright, you know what? I'm not going to read this all to you. I'm going to explain it to you in my own words. He gives you us a manual, which I never use. I've always figured this out on my own. So, as far as I know, I don't think it's possible to get 100% until you beat the dungeon. Because I, like, you know, set up this entire village exactly how it's supposed to, based on everyone's, like, I want this, that, and whatever, and it didn't work. So, anyway, until I get the place, you know, worked out, I defeat the boss and everything, I'm not going to put it in order, I'm just going to put it in a row. So I know, like, whose house is where. And when you place houses and when you place items, the houses have little items that you can grab. Like, I just grabbed the bread and the tasty water. There's nothing else to grab here until I add more. So, we have Macho. And all of those are question marks because I then have to go to Macho and ask him what he wants in his house. Obviously, because this plot of land is so empty, we're gonna need to have a extension to the house eventually, but tell me how to rebuild your house. Look, don't forget to expand the room and the barbell, put that outside. We get different pieces, like the expansion, I think is called like an annex or something like that, but the other guy, his older brother that's smaller than her I think will ask for the lamp and the fence. As of right now, I'm not putting these just because that's only a real requirement for purdying things up later. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly run over to what's-his-face and get some items, and then I may or may not continue. It really depends. I mean, we're starting to get near that border where I don't like to continue on. Anyway, he's talking about Dran, and he gives us some items. So I'm gonna order. Wow, I have a lot of tasty water. I have a stamina drink, a potion, an antidote, which is really useful against the stupid cave bats. 2 escape powders, a repair powder, 2 level power-up powders, which will come into use later, the manual that what's-his-face gave me, and bread. Bread is used to heal, water is used to fill up whatever, and to get rid of poison. And I showed you that, and that I'll explain to you later. Anyway, I think I'm going to go to the end, or go to the edge of the dungeon like I was, and I think I'll call that an episode. It's gonna be a shorter episode, but you know, I prefer it over longer episodes. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be on the lookout for episode 3, and as always, game on.